Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a really fascinating piece of source material called the Neurology of Athletic Indifference. Just think for a second about how completely dominant sports culture is around the world. It dictates our weekends, it floods our social feeds, it even shapes how our cities are built. But despite this absolutely massive cultural footprint, a huge chunk of the population feels, well, absolutely nothing when the home team wins. If you have ever felt like a literal alien observing humanity during playoff season, honestly, this is going to be so validating for you. We're unpacking the actual science behind why some brains are just remarkably completely immune to sports hype. So why exactly do some brains essentially sleep through the Super Bowl? Let's just set the scene for a minute. Picture this. It's the biggest sporting event of the year. Your living room is packed wall to wall. The tension in the air is ridiculously thick. And suddenly, boom, there's a game-changing play, a miraculous catch, a devastating fumble, whatever it is. The entire room just erupts. People are leaping off the couch, screaming, high-fiving, maybe spilling some salsa everywhere, in the absolute chaos of the moment. And then, well, there's you. You're just sitting there totally still, your heart rate is completely at baseline, you're looking at the TV, basically wondering if now is an appropriate time to go grab another snack or if you should just, pretend to be pumped. Sound familiar? We have all seen, or maybe you literally are, that person. It is that super relatable social friction of sitting there with a blank stare while the whole room loses their minds over a broadcast. It kind of seems isolating, right? But what if I told you it has nothing to do with a lack of spirit and everything to do with hardwired brain chemistry?
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the big game disconnect.
We can really see this disconnect clearly when we contrast the fan's brain with the indifferent brain. When that referee's whistle blows, the fan's brain kicks off this massive cascade of adrenaline, cortisol, and dopamine. It's a high-octane emotional hype machine. We're talking screaming, crying, and throwing snacks. To that brain, the stakes feel incredibly real. It's tapping into these ancient, deep-rooted group instincts. But then, look at the indifferent brain. It's getting the exact same visual and auditory input, right? Same bright colors, same deafening stadium noise. But this brain, totally unmoved. The pulse just stays right at a resting baseline. For literally decades, society and pop culture have treated this indifference like it's some sort of personality flaw. People say, oh, you're just no fun, or come on, where's your team spirit? But the source text we're analyzing today completely flips that script. This isn't about being stubborn, and it definitely isn't about being boring. It's neurobiology. We're looking at a calm, clinical reality that needs a scientific explanation, not a social critique. Your brain is literally just processing the data differently.
So moving along to our next section, let's look at the actual science behind this. Section 2, neurology of the non-fan. We can formally define this phenomenon based on our source material as athletic indifference. It's a neurological baseline characterized by an immunity to sports hype. And what's really interesting about this is the phrasing. It is a baseline. It's an immunity. We are completely throwing out the idea that non-fans are just trying to be difficult or contrarian. Instead, we're establishing this as a scientifically valid neurological state. For these folks, the neural pathways that normally link group athletic competition to the brain's reward and arousal centers, they're just uncoupled. They aren't missing the point of the game. Their brains are honestly just conserving energy. All those intense, fast-paced stimuli that send a superfan into an absolute frenzy just do not compute as important for survival or reward to the indifferent brain. It is quite literally a different factory setting for sensory processing. Which brings us to a really powerful central thesis: immune to the hype. This is the core concept we're unpacking today, and it's so crucial to understand that this is not a conscious, active choice. It's an automated, built-in immunity. Think about it kind of like a super sophisticated spam filter on your email or a firewall on your computer that just automatically blocks certain traffic so the system keeps running smoothly. The neurologically indifferent brain automatically, with zero conscious effort, just filters out the frequency of sports hysteria. The roaring crowds, the intense announcer voices, the flashing lights, the whole underdog narrative, it all just bounces right off the firewall. So while the person next to them is totally sucked into the drama, their brain has effectively tagged the whole event as non-essential data and just archived it right into the trash bin. Let's explore exactly how this firewall operates in real time. Section 3, immunity to the hype. And this brilliantly illustrates how the exact same stimulus gets wildly different reactions. Just imagine a buzzer beater shot. The clock is ticking down to 0, the ball is up in the air, the entire fate of the championship is hanging in the balance. For a fan, this triggers a massive physiological spike.
pupils dilate, sweat glands kick in, heart rate skyrockets to like 120 beats per minute. Their nervous system is absolutely convinced it's in a life or death survival scenario. But for the indifferent brain, that exact same environmental stimulus hits the sensory processing centers and nothing. Crickets. No spike, no sweat. Their physiological response registers as if they were literally watching paint dry. It's such a clear demonstration of how highly subjective our neurological reality actually is. What feels like an earth-shattering moment for one person's nervous system is quite literally just background noise to another's. So let's break down the observable, real-world traits of this immunity. People with athletic indifference share a few key characteristics you can easily spot. First off, they maintain a completely baseline pulse during major plays. While everybody else is hyperventilating over a penalty kick, their cardiovascular system is perfectly chill. Second, they are uniquely immune to crowd-induced hype. See, usually contagious enthusiasm relies on something called mirror neurons. When we see someone else get excited, our brains mimic that, and we get excited too. But here, those social cues just do not trigger that mirroring effect when it comes to sports. And third, they actively filter out athletic stimuli. Honestly, it's time we just systematically debunk this myth that non-fans are boring or unengaged. They aren't bored. Their brains are just wildly efficient at filtering the world. They're just spending their cognitive resources somewhere else, totally undisturbed by the chaos. While the whole room is screaming, they might be mentally planning dinner, solving a work problem, or, I don't know, analyzing the architecture of the stadium. Their brain is working just as hard. It's just tuned to a completely different channel. Which leads us directly into our final section for today's explainer, embracing your brain's wiring. Returning to the foundational title of our source material, why some brains are immune to sports hype. So the crucial point here is this. Whether you're the person screaming at the TV in full face paint or the person calmly reading a novel while the TV screams at you, neither of you is wrong. This explainer is all about validating the non-fan, while also maybe educating the hardcore sports fanatic. If you happen to have this athletic indifference, I really hope this serves as permission to just stop faking the hype. You don't have to force a high five or pretend your heart is racing just to fit in. Your brain is doing exactly what it's wired to do. And hey, if you are a super fan, maybe give your indifferent friend or partner a break the next time they don't jump off the couch during a touchdown. Their neural firewall is just doing its job, protecting their peace in a sea of noise. We always love to end our explainers by giving you something a bit deeper to chew on, something that goes way beyond just the topic we covered today. If your brain is inherently immune to sports hype, what else is it secretly ignoring? Our brains are these incredible master filters, constantly deciding what matters and what doesn't, curating our entire reality behind the scenes without us even realizing it. I mean, if a multi-billion-dollar, highly engineered sports spectacle, literally designed to grab human attention, can be seamlessly filtered out by your neurology, just imagine what other massive cultural phenomenons, social cues, or environmental stimuli your brain is quietly muting right now. Are there political hypes, social media trends, or consumer panics that you're just naturally immune to? It really makes you wonder about the invisible firewalls shaping your everyday perception of the world, doesn't it? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope these concepts helped clarify a truly fascinating topic. Until next time, keep questioning the way you see and filter the world around you.